am the bone of my sword. Yeah, this week's episode was metal. Archer versus Lancer. It was awesome. Not only that, but we had Shiro versus Kuzuki and Rin versus Caster. This week's episode was action-packed and a lot of fun, and the type of episode that I've been waiting to see from the second half of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and it did not disappoint, and it had some pretty interesting developments going for it. First and foremost, Archer versus Lancer. Is it awesome? Yes. It's just as good as all the other previous action scenes. The action just explodes off the screen. Trading blows, sparks flying, skidding across landscape, things exploding all around them just from their mere power. It's incredible. It's finally when Lancer decides to use his signature ability known as the Guy Bold, where he powers up his lance and throws it with extreme speed like a freaking meteorite of death. This is when Archer defends himself with the Ro Ias, where he has that awesome saying, "I am the bone of my sword," and this massive barrier just goes right in front of him as the lance slowly but surely tears through it like glass, and suddenly Archer is defeated. He even concedes defeat. Archer was defeated by Lancer. I actually did not expect this to happen. I thought this was going to be the end of Archer. But really, for him, everything is going according to plan. Shiro versus Kuzuki. As you would expect, Shiro's basically just getting his ass handed to him. But at least he's looking good while he's doing it. You know, Kuzuki's awesome. His hand-to-hand style of combat is really impressive and too much for him. The other big battle is Rin and Caster, a battle of magic, which to me is really okay. It's not my favorite part of the episode, but I especially love how Rin was able to trick her by basically leading her into one of her stones. They gave her an opportunity to use some hand-to-hand combat, which is something you don't ever really see from Rin, so I thought that was a really welcome surprise. And then that's when the fecal matter hits the fan, when suddenly Archer just appears out of nowhere and kills Caster with a flurry of swords. Right after this, he battles with Kuzuki, and this scene, to me, was disturbingly unsettling. Like, just the way that Kuzuki just so easily gave away his life, and they even went into his backstory a little bit in this week's episode about how he was a killer and how he basically removed the human side of his mind, and that's what makes him just sort of like this walking, autonomous killer who's trying to find some sort of purpose in life, and he wants to see this through to the end, so he's gonna fight against Archer, and Archer just destroys him. Like, he goes in for one punch, immediately gets his arm destroyed, then he just dies, and he doesn't even have any emotion and shows nothing, and it's just disturbing. It's really, really creepy. And this is the part of the episode where maybe you think Archer is going to go back to Rin's side, help them out, and they're gonna, you know, get the Holy Grail and everything's gonna be hunky-dory. Now that Archer is no longer under the command of Rin and he is free of the command seals, it's hunting season, and he's hunting for Shiros. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? That's what I'm frickin' talking about. Lots of action in this week's episode. Lancer versus Archer. Really good. Just as good as their previous fights. Their big flashy attacks were awesome. You know I loved that part. I'm a big action guy, so that whole scene was just really intense. The scene where they're discussing philosophy really was just the build-up to their big final attacks, which were both really impressive. I especially love that big final explosion. I love those that explode out, implode, and then explode again. It's always really freaking impressive. But what I really loved about this episode, though, was the final twist at the end, getting to see that Archer has had this plan the entire time. He's basically been inside the Trojan horse this whole time, and I think that's really clever. He even used that metaphor, which was incredibly clever. What I really loved, though, is that Saber's back. And that's really awesome, because we haven't really seen anything from Saber in the second half of the series, and Saber's awesome, she's incredible, she's definitely one of the fan-favorite characters from the series, and I really want to see her in action, and just, I don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, everybody's head is on the chopping block at this point, and Archer's getting ready to bring Pain to town, and then again, Gilgamesh could just show up out of nowhere. I mean, there's just so many possibilities for the incredible action that's going to happen later on. But this episode right here, on the technical side of things, looked really good. Great animation, great atmosphere, great artwork, just lots of tension, and a great cliffhanger ending. This was a fantastic episode of the series, but I probably don't have to tell you that. You've probably already watched this episode, and you know it's awesome. So, I love this one right here. Got no complaints with it. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was great, and one that all Fate Stay fans should definitely check out. But if you watch this episode, I want to know what you guys thought about this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Please tell me in the comments section below. Did you have a favorite character who showed up, a favorite action scene? What's the deal with Archer? What's his big plan? What do you want to see from the rest of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Remember, liking the video is one of the absolute best and easiest ways to help out Super Kami Guru 9000. You can also subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all of our latest manga, anime, and our brand new podcast videos. And you can also follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching. And as always, stay dandy, baby.